Class pa, chalo என்ன விஷயம்? சரி நான் ஃபோன் பண்ணிட்டு வரேன், ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை, பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஆமாம், ஃபோன் பண்ணிட்டு வரேன். நான் ஃபோன் பண்ணிட்டு வரேன். ஃபோன் பண்ணிட்டு வரேன். ஓகே ஓகே. சரி. Okay, we shall start. Anyway, I have started recording. I may have to leave by 11:10 or so. That's why I started this. Okay, so so we were talking about name-based classifier, and so we were talking about name-based classification, where we talked about computing the probability values as the model. Okay, so we had this example, and we wanted to classify this data finally, but this is what we already have as our data set. So you have to construct all the probability values. So similarly, we talked about these two scenarios. So let us try to go with the income. Okay, so yeah, let us try to go with the income. So here I have medium, low and high. So we have to find out probability of income is equal to medium given yes is equal to probability of yes given income equal to medium multiplied by probability of income is equal to medium divided by probability of yes. Similarly for no. Okay, so here probability of yes given income is equal to medium, yes given income equal to medium. So medium has got 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this second component is 6 by 14 divided by this, we already know it is 9 by 14. This should be multiplied. Out of these 6 scenarios, 1 2 3 4 5 6, how many s's are there? 1 2 3 4. So 4 s's are there. So 4 divided by 6. So this is going to be your this is for yes, and for no, denominator is 5 by 14. This will be 2 by 6. This is 6 by 14. Okay, so resulting in this as 2 by 5. So I can again compute the same values for probability of income is equal to low and buying computer as yes and no. So I'll just do that alone and then go on to the next one. So probability of income is equal to low given yes, probability of income is equal to low given no. This is equal to probability of yes given income equal to low multiplied by probability of income equal to low divided by probability of yes. Similarly here, probability of no given income is equal to low into probability of income equal to low. Okay, so the denominator is 9 by 14 and 5 by 14 respectively. the numerator will change. So here income equal to low. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 scenarios of income equal to low. So that probability is 4 by 14. And out of this 4, how many S's are there? 1 yes, 2 yes, and 3 yes. Okay. So 3 by 4, and here it is 1 by 4. So if you calculate this, this will be 3 by 9 and this will be 1 by 5. So like that you can compute for all individual probabilities. Okay, now I have student equal to yes and credit rating is equal to fair. I'm going to just find out these probabilities only from here, and then I'm going to find out the final scenario. So probability of what is that student equal to yes. Okay, probability of student is equal to yes given buying computer is yes. Probability of student is equal to yes given not buying computer is equal to no. So this is equal to probability of yes given student is equal to yes multiplied by probability of student is equal to yes divided by probability of yes. Similarly here probability of no, here probability of student is equal to yes and probability of yes given student is equal to, sorry, no given student is equal to yes. So the denominator again is 9 by 14 and 5 by 14 here. Student is equal to yes. Okay. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 no's for student. So this is 7 by 14. And out of this 7, how many bought computer and how many did not buy computer? So this yes, I have 1 yes here. Okay, and 2 yes, 3, 4, 5, 6 yeses. Okay, yeses and 1 no. So this is 6 by 7 and this is 1 by 7. So that comes to 6 by 9 here. This comes to 1 by 5 here. Then the last component is credit rating is equal to fair. Again, I have fair and excellent. How many fairs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fairs. Okay. So probability of credit rating is equal to fair given yes, and probability of credit rating is equal to fair given no. This is probability of yes. Here it is probability of no. Here it is probability of credit rating is equal to fair. Probability of credit rating is equal to fair. This is probability of yes given. Credit rating is equal to fair. This is probability of no given. Credit rating is equal to fair. So we had this denominator as 9 by 14. This one as 5 by 14. And how many fair we saw? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, totally 8 fair. Out of the 8 fair, how many yeses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 yes and 2 no's. Okay. So this is 8 by 14 and this is 6 by 8 and 2 by 8 respectively. So this comes to 6 by 9. This comes to 2 by 5. Now to classify finally, my data set is...
Excuse me. Why are we considering students equal to no case, ma'am?
No, you have to find out. Actually, the probability model should consider. You have to compute that also. I said I am not computing now because of want of time. Okay, I have to typically consider all possible options. So here also I didn't consider greater than 40. You have to consider greater than 40 also and keep the probabilities ready. You have to consider here income as high, medium, low, all 3 probabilities and keep it ready. My data to be classified is only this number. So I'm just looking at only those values. Okay, typically your model will have all these probabilities to be computed. Okay, if I have to do excellent, how do I do? Credit rate is equal to fair is here. So probability of credit rating is equal to excellent given yes. Probability of credit rating is equal to excellent given no. This is equal to probability of yes and probability of no here. probability of yes given credit rating as excellent multiplied by probability of credit rating is equal to excellent, probability of no given this one multiplied by probability of credit rating is equal to excellent. So this is 9 by 14 and this is 5 by 14, that is already computed. I had 8 fair, therefore this will be 6 by 14 and 6 by 14 multiplied by, out of the 6's, how many yes and how many no. So this excellent is no here, 2 no's, 3 no's and 3 yeses. So this will be 3 by 6 and 3 by 6. So resulting in this as 3 by 9, this as 3 by 5. So you can do this also, not a problem. So you have, these are your models. So finally you have to consider all those. Now what is my scenario? I have the x given. So given x, does it belong to class 1 or class 2? So probability of C2 given x. Now what is x actually? X has got, okay, if I have to do that, this is probability of x given C1 into probability of C1 divided by probability of x. Probability of x given C2 into probability of C2. Now what is x actually? X has got multiple components now. X has got age less than or equal to 30. Okay, so I have one values here and another value here. Okay, so I have to multiply the individual probabilities here. Probability of x given C1, it is a product of all the x, which is going to be your features. So x given C1 is 2 by 9, x given C2 is 3 by 5. So 2 by 9, here it is 3 by 5. And then the next parameter to be classified as income equal to medium. So income equal to medium is yes, income is equal to medium is no here. So 4 by 9 and 2 by 5 respectively. So this is 4 by 9, this is 2 by 5. And the next data is student is equal to yes. So student is equal to yes and no, 6 by 9 and 1 by 5. 6 by 9 and 1 by 5 multiplied by the last component is credit rating is equal to fair. Okay, credit rating is equal to fair. Again, that is nothing but 6 by 9 and 2 by 5. So this is my probability of x given C1. This is my probability of x given C2, which is the product of all the features. Now multiplied by probability of C1, that we know it is 9 by 14. Here probability of C2, that we know it is 5 by 14. Now divided by probability of x. Now what is x again? X has got multiple values. So age less than or equal to 30. That is 5 by 14. Okay. And income equal to medium. So age less than 30 is 5 by 14. Income equal to medium is only income equal to medium, which is here 6 by 14. Okay. So 5 by 14. Here I have 6 by 14. Denominator is 5 by 14 into 6 by 14 into, next one is student is equal to yes. So there are how many students? 7 students, right? So 7 by 14 multiplied by the last component is credit rating is equal to fair, which is 8 by 14. So this is going to be your probability. Okay. So 2 by 9, 4 by 9, this is probability of x given C1 into probability of C1 divided by probability of x. Now look at these two cases. Okay, both divides denominator by probability of x. Okay, so whether how do I say whether 5 is greater or 3 is greater? I know 5 is greater obviously. Supposing if I say 5 by 6 and 3 by 6, which is bigger?
5 by 6.
Obviously 5 by 6 is bigger. So you are dividing the denominator by the same number. Okay, that's exactly what you are doing here. So you can actually ignore this value. So this will be approximated to only the numerator because you are dividing the same thing by both scenarios. Okay, so therefore you can ignore the denominator component because it is the same. Okay, it is not going to be different. Okay, it is the same component, so you can try to ignore this component here and get only the numerator probability. So you do this value computation here, numerator alone. This will be 2 into 4, 8 into okay, I have almost simplified. So 2 2s are 4 into 4 is 16 is numerator. Denominator is 9 into 3 27, 27 into 3 81, 81 into 7 567. Okay, if you do the same thing here, again I'm not looking at the denominator. Denominator is ignored. This is 5 and 5 gets cancelled. This is 2, this is 7. So numerator is 3 into 2 6 divided by denominator is 5 into 5 25, 25 into 5 125, 125 into 7. So which is bigger? 16 by 567 or 6 by 875?
The first one.
Huh?
16 by 567.
What is this value here?
0.028.
What about this one?
This is 0.0068.
0 0?
68.
Okay, so out of these two, this is bigger, right? So this value, the probability of this particular individual buying computer is more compared to the probability of this person not buying computer. Okay, that is what is going to be your conclusion. Hello. Yeah, I have a class, madam. No. Yesterday I agreed. I mean, day before yesterday I agreed one person. I did not know what's her name, but I mean, it's okay, madam, because too many things will probably be difficult to handle. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Okay, so this is going to be your scenario. So your model is essentially trying to construct all the probabilities. So you have to consider probability of age less than 30 given yes, age greater than 30, between 31 to 40 given yes, greater than 40 given yes. Similarly for no, you have to consider. So similarly for income being high, medium, low, yes, no. So you have to compute 6 probabilities here. 6 probabilities here. This is yes and no only. So you have to compute 4 probabilities. And here it is fair, excellent. So you have to again compute 4 probabilities here. This is your model. Okay. So any data that comes into picture can basically be handled without any difficulty by and it can basically be categorized as belonging to which of the classes. Okay. So that is the simple name-based classifier model. But what is the drawback here? The drawback here will be 0 probability. So we had one value of 0 probability. Where is it? 31 to 40. Yeah, this is 0. Okay, there are no samples, so that was basically zero probability, and hence if you multiply it with all values, it will become 0, which is not going to be what you want. Okay, so therefore you have to apply some kind of a smoothing. Okay, that is called as smoothing, where you basically have to apply some logic in order to avoid this multiplication by 0 value. Okay, so here probability, yeah, the same thing is done here. So denominator is avoided here also. Okay, so you get your final result. So avoiding the zero probability problem is actually what you should try to do it. So one thing is you can have it as called as Laplacian correction or Laplacian estimator. So where you try to add 1 to each case. So supposing you have a data set with 1000 tuples here, income equal to low of 0, income equal to medium of 990, and income equal to high is 10 here. So here when you are looking at income equal to low, that will become totally a 0 value. So in order to avoid the 0 probability, what you do is you add 1 to each record. So you convert this into 1003 records, okay, as against 1000 by adding 1 for each of this row. So you add low as 1, medium as 991, and high as 11. So the probability will basically become 1 by 1003, 991 by 1003, and 11 by 1003. This will avoid the 0 probability error. Anyway, if the income is low, it will be taken care by multiplication, and you that will anyway have a lower value provided all other values are higher. Okay, so all other values for income equal to medium, income equal to high is higher. Supposing you have two features, and in one feature you have the 0 probability, the other feature you have got the highest probability. Okay, it should not cancel out this highest probability value. Okay, and there is one more situation where you have an average probability here 0.4, and this one is also 0.3. Okay, so if you multiply these two, and if you multiply 0.9 and 0, it will become 0 directly, which is not accepted. So 0.4 into 0.3 will become basically 0.12. Okay, so you should not compare with 0.12 and 0, because this has got a higher feature value. So you you do what is called as Laplacian correction in order to convert this to some value, and that some value, if you might supposing you consider this as 0.01, okay, and if you multiply this with this, you will get basically 0.09. Sorry, 009. Anyway, this is low, but I'm just talking about two features. But the problem is, supposing you have many features available here, and supposing here there is one more 0.001 available. So this will become 0.003 plus 2, 5. 00012. Okay, so I have got values here. This will become 0.00, and there is 0.1 only, for example, say. So in that case, it will become 0.0009, which is here. This becomes higher compared to the next one. So therefore, you have to ensure that you are not cancelling a particular feature by having the 0 values. You will try to accommodate the 0 value in one way or the other by accommodating it as a Laplacian corrected probability value. So what happens here is input is a training sample xi comma yi for I equal to 1 to n, where xi belongs to a set 0 comma 1 and yi belongs to two classes, -1 and +1. Now there your number of classes can be 3 also, doesn't matter, C1, C2, C3, okay, +1, -1 and 0. So you can have 3 classes. Okay, rather than simply a yes or no here, you can say yes, no, maybe. Okay, you can have 3 classes. Okay, so if you have 3 classes, you have to compute 3 probabilities. Okay, so the output will basically be a parameter vector theta, which defines the distribution, and the vector theta contains q of y and qj of x comma y parameter estimates, and that is typically estimated using Laplace smoothing. So the name-based classifier, if you look at the advantages and disadvantages, it is easy to implement, and you can obtain good results in most cases. you can also deal with missing attributes. Supposing one value is none, then you can ignore that and then get your next value computed. Okay. And disadvantages is there is class conditional independence, therefore loss of accuracy. So for example, the features are not dependent, only the features are dependent to the class alone. Okay. So class A or class B. And normally what happens is dependencies among variables typically exist. So therefore, which is not a valid one. Okay, so you can have hospitals, patients, profile, age, family history, etc. So this is going to be a relation among the attributes or the variables, which is not considered in your name-based classifier. And similarly, symptoms, fever, cough. So you have a cascading effect. So if you try to cough more, you will have phlegm. If you have more phlegm, your body heats up to remove the phlegm. Okay, and so you will have fever. So there is a dependence between the attributes which is not being considered in the name-based classifier. So and this name-based classifier cannot model that. So how do you deal with dependencies? We have Bayesian belief network, which we will be discussing after this, two more topics in this particular unit. So here in training and testing, you give it's a supervised model, right? So you give the apple and have the label, and then you do that, and then practice exam is like your validation. Okay, this is your training, this is validation, and this is your final test. So where you don't even have the sample. Okay, so that validation set is called as the held out data set, and the final exam kind of scenario is called as the test data set. So the experimentation cycle, you will learn the parameters, which is computing the model probabilities, and you can tune the hyperparameters on held out set and compute the accuracy of test set, and you don't peek at the test set. You should not even look at the test set before applying any correction. Okay, so accuracy will be defined as the fraction of instances predicted correctly as against the number of instances tested. Now, typically what happens is you will generally do what is called as overfitting and underfitting. These are two problems with any machine learning model. Okay, one is overfitting, second one is underfitting. This overfitting or underfitting typically arises because of the number of data samples that you basically have. Okay, so for example, if you have this as your data points, and supposing you wanted to map this to a function, you will end up in a 15-degree polynomial, which will basically get you this particular curve, which is connecting almost all the dots. Even then, it is not connecting all the dots. Okay, so you should actually try to learn to ignore the outlier and then try to get a smaller degree polynomial, because you cannot draw a line between you cannot connect all the points at any particular point of time. So there will be definitely outliers, there will be definitely errors. Okay, so you have to try to apply some kind of a thresholding in order to get to a class A or to class B. Okay, so this is overfitting, where you try to get one particular intensity. Okay, and you try to supposing this is also on or off, depending upon what feature you are talking about, you will try to get this. Okay. Similarly, probability of W given ham, probability of W given spam. You can actually look at some kind of a $205. This is trying to be influencing you as the spam email. Okay. So similarly here, you can look at Southwest hyphenated word. Nicely, seriously, all these things will typically go into the ham sorry, spam emails. So if you try to overfit, you try to get into a inaccurate scenario. Therefore, the $1,000,000 question now is, how much data set do you need for training? Nobody has the answer. Okay, so let us live with that inconsistency. So I have talked about here. Same thing is repeated. So do one more problem here. I'll give you. A PR course on ML. Laplace smoothing. Unnecessary. I will give you the I'll give you one problem. You try that problem now. I'm not able to find that problem. 1 minute, yeah. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay, this is from the textbook on Mitchell by for machine learning textbook on Mitchell. So here you have some parameters: outlook, temperature, humidity, windy, and whether this person will play golf or not. Okay, so here you have to construct the model, and finally you have to classify probability of outlook is equal to rainy, and temperature is equal to cool, humidity is high, and windy is false. Okay, so you have to finally classify this scenario whether this person will play golf or not. So you have, this is your probability of C1 given X. So X is what I have given here. You need to find out probability of C2 given X, and then finally determine which is going to be going where this particular class will belong to. Okay, so you have to find out now probability of X given C1, X given C2 for each of the features. Okay, you have to find out outlook is equal to rainy given no, overcast equal to rainy, sorry, outlook is equal to overcast given yes and no, outlook is equal to sunny given yes and no. So you have to find out these three probabilities here. You need to again find out hot, mild, cool. So 3 into 2, 6 probabilities, one for each class. High and normal, so 2, which is 4 probabilities, one for each class. Windy is false and true. So again 4 probabilities, one for each class. So you find out that is your model. Okay, so probability of X given C1, X given C2, you have to find out for each of these features, and finally this will be a product of that. Okay, and then you try to say whether it is going to be belonging to class A, the play golf as yes or play golf as no. Okay, so do this problem. After this problem, um, you can take the data as a screenshot or whatever, and then keep it with you. Okay, I have a meeting now. There is an emergency meeting, so I have distributed the programming assignment question. It will come to you at 11:30. You can start working on that today and tomorrow. I have taken tomorrow's class only now. Okay, so you need not log in tomorrow. You can just work on that particular problem. So that assignment is due on 19th night, which is Tuesday night. Okay, and from next week onwards, it will basically be only programming assignment, which project which we will discuss. Okay, so you start working on this problem and message here after you get the answer. I'll come back to it. Guys, you just record it. Selvam இருக்கீங்களா? Selvam will join this meeting, okay?
Okay, ma'am.